guys, this is True Crime Rhymes with Vodka. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Kim. How's it going?
Hey.
You get to see our faces.
Ooh, we don't love it.
I know. You can see the bottom of my face. I don't know if anybody's fucking watched that, but SNL is killing it right now. I think.
It's about time for them to step up their game. Mostly, first of all, I love Adele anyways. But did you see her?
She's fucking gorgeous.
The way she looks, I was like, go ahead, girl.
Yes.
I was like, let me just round
God damn. I'm like,
so good.
Who are you, girl?
I know, and I love that she's always got her long ratchet nails. I love it.
She's fucking gorgeous, you guys.
I love her.
And The Bachelor, of course, you know, I'm a bachelorette person. So
were
like,
they on the show?
Yeah. Oh, the SNL. Never mind. You haven't seen the SNL?
No, and I won't watch it. So just,
okay.
Just spoil it for me.
A little recap, not to be a spoiler, but she's they just do a little bit with a guy who's, you know, a bachelor, and she's like, I don't know, it's just funny. You got to watch it. If you're a bachelor or bachelorette person, you'll think it's funny. But she basically just breaks out into song. Like she's like on dates with him, and she's like, "Never mind, I'll find someone like you." I mean, she sings it way better. If you guys didn't know that, but it's great. And then they're like, "Adele is singing again." It's great.
Adele would be proud of your rendition.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she would. I'm sure she would. Her accent, though, she is so cute. I love her.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't love her accent.
Okay, well, nobody asked you, Jackie.
She's amazing. I truly love her. I've loved her forever, ever.
Yeah.
Should we explain our attire or no? Is
yes.
this just like normal? Like you guys didn't even think like...
Well, it's Halloween, bitches. So we thought we would just throw some shit together like we were in our 20s again or something. Oh, that's what I was like. I'm a cat.
That was meow.
Yeah, Jackie, tell us about your outfit.
So, well, Stephen and I, if anybody knows us, our favorite holiday, true story, is St. Patrick's Day. And
Drunks.
I don't know if anybody, I'm sure if many other people felt it this year because, like, I remember this St. Patrick's Day, like when COVID was like in its prime, but it was like before we knew it was in its prime, you know?
Yeah.
And I went and got my hair done. And like I set up my hair appointment thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to get my hair done so I'm going to look so cute when we go out for St. Patty's Day. And then by the time it came around, I was wearing a mask to my hair appointment.
Yeah. And
I was like, and then I'm going home after this.
Yeah.
So I'm the ghost of St. Patty's Day's past because that's what we missed this year. And we did
miss that.
So in like 2.5 hours, I'm going to black out on the floor.
Yeah, well,
you know, just to keep it original.
It's a good thing you're home.
Yeah, it's good.
So, you know.
I'm going to pick a cold surface to lie down. You know how it is. You know how it is when you like got the spins and stuff and you're on the floor in the bathroom and you put your face on cold surface and it just feels so much better.
Oh my God. No, I
Just
don't.
me? Just me?
Don't.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But hey, not judging you. So what?
That's what I am.
Yeah.
So what else? Oh, do you know what exciting news I found out?
What you got?
I get all of my news from Facebook. I don't know if anybody else is that way. Did you know that they're rebooting Saved by the Bell?
What the fuck? No, I did not know that.
With the OGs.
Well, like really all of them?
Well, it didn't say all of them, but Zach.
I'm over here like all of them.
Well, you know, they only said Mario Lopez,
Okay.
Zach. Well, that's not his name. His name's like Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Zach Morris. Yeah.
And then I can't remember the girl who plays Jessie, whatever that
That's
girl
cool.
is. I'm like, first of all, that girl looked old during the original. She's gonna look old as shit.
Shots fired.
I mean, maybe she's gonna surprise us.
No, I actually always loved Saved by the Bell, so I'm excited about this.
So it is like, just to give you an idea, Zach is 46 now. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay.
I know. But it premieres on the Peacock Network on November 25th.
Well, cool.
Just
I'm
in
excited.
time for my birthday.
Yes.
I know what I'm doing. I on my birthday.
I can't wait to watch it. Seriously.
I know. And he's apparently like, Zach is coming back as like the governor. And then he like sends, apparently like Bayside is now the school where, so like when they have kids who go to schools that have been shut down.
So is he going to be like less awful because of
he's supposed to be like the good guy. He's like sending the
so
kids from schools that are being shut down due to funding. He's sending them to Bayside and including his own son. So
I bet he's like a hot daddy.
But I think he's on some kind of crime
Oh.
show on TV, or he was for a short time. I don't know.
But you know what I mean? I bet he's like, I don't know. I'm just speaking like Brett over here, guys. I don't usually walk around saying the word daddy.
You think he's a hot
But
daddy?
my friend Brett, he is so funny. He's always like, daddy. That's like we used to walk on we went when he lived in Omaha. He doesn't live here anymore. But when we used to go on lunch and go for walks across the pedestrian bridge, there would always be lots of daddies jogging. And he'd be like, daddy. Yeah.
I cannot pull that off. Hey, daddy.
That's why I felt like a weirdo saying it. But yeah, that's why I felt like I needed to explain it to you guys. But anyway.
You did need to. I'm glad you did.
Okay.
Because either way, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, I call my daddy just dad.
Yeah. Anyway.
That escalated quickly.
Going away from that. No, I can't wait to see the reboot. I did not know about that.
I'm excited.
We talked last week, I believe, about the Unsolved Mysteries reboot. The season 2.
Did you watch any of the new episodes?
You did tell me
Spoiler
to watch
alert, guys.
You told me to watch sorry, we're annoying. The lady in the lake.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty crazy one.
What did you think? What were your what did you think actually
Well,
happened?
I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
No, we're gonna have to spoil it.
I just don't.
I'm sorry.
Do you
if
think
you haven't watched it, you're not up on your true crime game.
She was definitely murdered, and it's fucked up that like.
But it just seems odd. Like, what would be somebody's motive, and to do it in that manner to leave her belongings behind? It just seemed like
it seemed like there was no answers there. Like,
no, I do think that she did not take her own life, but I think that
she didn't walk down there in her shoes, and that would be a horribly painful way to go, just to walk into water.
For those of you who watched it, I'm just like, my thing is like, I feel like there was something in her life, like some feud or something that people didn't know about.
Yeah, basically she, this woman like was in her church parking lot and,
in Michigan.
It was in Michigan.
It was right by
really cold, probably in the winter. Yeah. Like probably not a place you'd want to just jump into the lake water, but
apparently she jumped into the lake, but was found 35 miles due some other direction from there.
It doesn't really add up. I definitely, with that being said, like, I love that they're bringing up these cases because the people who are getting this type of publicity, it's just like I feel like it's a fortunate thing out of an unfortunate circumstance because hopefully they'll get some answers. Like
it kind of even puts into perspective, like how often terrible things happen. Like I don't know what the stat is, but it's got to be. Yeah. I mean, I think it is something terrible. Like a person is murdered every like 2 minutes or something. That's like me making up my own stat, but I think it's. But no, but I have heard stats, and it's something that's so
it's
crazy because it's happening so often. Because. Well, I can talk shit about Steven because he doesn't listen to the podcast.
Oh, he does not.
So I'm going to talk shit about him real quick. Steven, he's in town now. But Steven had left town, I told you this, for just for the weekend, like a couple weeks ago. And we have contractors working in and out of the house for various projects. And one of them came to the door and was like, because he needed to get payment. So I wrote him a check. And then he's like, oh, yeah, your husband said that you were going to be here because he's out of town. And I any true crime person should know, I was livid. Right when that guy left our call, I was like, why would you tell somebody that you're out of town? You know, it's people who've been in our house and know that we're.
You never know, man. You just never know.
I mean, we have cameras and such, so I do feel more secure. Like we have cameras everywhere, but. And he was like, nobody thinks about that kind of stuff. I was like, you are not a true crime buff. Because that is the first thing that came to my mind is how crazy is it you told
nobody but everybody.
I know.
Yeah.
But it is crazy, like, because he was like, oh, sorry, I like didn't like even think about it. Like, but it's like our crazy true crime minds that.
Well, I mean, The Lonely Island, in one of their songs, he goes, you ought to look out. Anyways. And you do have to look out.
You do have to
gotta watch your back.
Yeah.
And your sides. Anyways, okay. All right. So what are we drinking tonight, guys?
Everything, literally.
Oh, wait. Let's talk about what we did tonight.
Oh.
So these are from, I believe I got these at Spirit World. Shout out to Spirit World in Omaha. 19 Crimes, little minis. I'm drinking the 2018 red wine. This dude's kind of hot. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's
Kim's
kind
going
of
to talk about how she thinks this guy is hot.
Arr.
I'm drinking the hard charred, which is Chardonnay.
Chard. The chard.
It says
The
charred. Charred.
Chard.
Well, if they want us to pronounce it the way, they should put an S on it. Okay, boo-boo?
Okay.
But so Kim and I, we tried to do it before with these because, with these, you can
like
download
scan
the app,
them and
scan the label, and then the person comes alive on your phone and talks to you and tells you their story. What happened to your person?
Which I live under a rock, so I didn't know about this for the longest time. But he was I believe he's an Englishman.
Irish. He was Irish. We could tell by his accent.
Irish.
He's Irish.
And he had to go. He got stuck in Australia, I believe, was what.
No, well, he's
exiled. Exiled
sent to Australia. Because
okay,
which crime did he commit?
I don't remember.
He committed the 18th crime.
Tell me about your lady.
My girl, she was basically just gangster. She said she was a gang leader. But she did say that.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was a gang leader.
Yeah.
Working in the labor force, in the labor field. So I'm like, a gangster girl.
Cheers.
And she has braids and I have braids. Okay.
Hey.
Some things are meant to be.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh.
Okay.
I've never had
Let's
19
wine.
Crimes Chardonnay. This is not white. This is not Chardonnay.
Oh, it's not. Is it red wine?
I think so.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's Chardonnay.
Oh my God. It's, you guys.
Clearly,
for those who are not seeing the video, it is white wine that she poured in the glass.
It is white wine. So
just so we're
so
all
the label was
clear.
accurate. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
But we also have, what else do we have, Kim?
We also have Busch Light, classic move for me.
Truly.
And we have these little chocolate shots because it's Halloween, y'all. So cheers. Danny,
Cheers.
get yours.
But we don't want to eat them while we're recording, right?
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
people
We
have
don't need
listen to us.
Yeah, okay. You're right. So we'll drink them later, but
now I really want to eat
no,
it.
let's fucking eat them.
No, I
What the
really
hell?
want to eat it. Okay, but I don't.
Tell them what you got, what type it is.
Oh, mine is a vodka chocolate.
Like a raspberry one? Or?
Yes. I'll give Danny his.
Yeah.
Oh, his fell.
sorry.
His fell.
Sorry, you want me to open it up for you, boo?
Sure.
Okay, I love
What are
vodka.
you drinking tonight, Danny? Tell us.
Just Busch Light and then this chocolate.
Oh, okay. Well, there's lots of whiskey on the wall behind us, so.
I won't dip into that.
Oh, okay.
I love
Somebody's
vodka,
got to
but
stay.
But to smell it in this form, smell it. It smells so good. Kitty, you should have smelled it from far away.
I don't know what that is. I don't know that
Don't even-
reference. Okay.
Because you're a cat.
Oh. Oh my God. Wow.
I'm just going to eat mine.
I
You
just thought
talking, I'll eat
quoting.
mine.
I thought you were quoting a movie or something.
Oh, yeah.
Did it just pour into your mouth? All that goodness.
You definitely have to put the whole thing in your mouth. That's what she said.
You're so mature.
It's delicious. So those are delicious.
Oh, I had the orange liqueur.
Like the Cointreau. Right? Aren't they delicious? I could eat like 1,000 of
I feel
those.
like Scotch mixes really well with chocolate.
Oh.
Because everything mixes well with chocolate. Wasn't that on our last episode? Or we pair well. I pair well with vodka and chocolate. Turns out. But also we busted this out of the fridge.
Oh, okay, yeah. I went to Crescent Moon today to get food, and they have a little beer shop next door. It's called Beertopia. Shout out to them. It was kind of a funny ordeal when I walked in. The guy that works there, I mean, I've been there a few times. I'm not like a frequent flyer, but he was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And of course, like, being in the industry for a lot of years and just being my outgoing self, I was like, "What's up, man?" Like, I didn't, it didn't dawn it. And then my coworker who was with me was like, "Do you know him?" And I was like, "No." And then he's like, "Hey, girl," he's like, "I saw your birthday cake on Facebook." And I was like,
What?
Sir, I think you're talking about somebody else, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that person must be awesome. And he was just like so fucking embarrassed. Like his face, he was like, oh, and he's like, sorry, you have a mask on. I was like, no, I'm serious. I bet she is a wonderful person. I'm gonna trust your judgment. And and then I was like, oh, he's so embarrassed. I got to figure out how to make him feel comfortable. So I was like, what kind of beer should I get? I'm recording a podcast tonight. And then he was like, oh, and then he tells me,
like, thank God she changed the subject.
yeah. And then maybe I was just like intensely awkward, which, whatever.
No.
But it was funny. I just felt for him because he was so
I know, 'cause
mortified.
you're so nice.
But he goes, oh, actually, the girl that I confused you with is eating next door. So that's why I thought it was you. And I was like, oh, shit. I look over and I see this girl with I see this puff of hair. And I was like, that's my twin. He's like, you have a doppelganger. And I was like, hopefully she's cool.
Everybody does. Everybody has a doppelganger.
funny.
So you met yours today.
But to be fair, her hair was straight and mine is curly. But, it's cool. It's cool. When you see a big
You have the
puffball,
best hair.
You have the best.
No, you have the best
face.
hair. You have the best hair.
So anyways.
Anyway, so Kim picked up
Oh,
this.
yeah. Whoa, back.
Whoa. We get
Full
we get
circle,
off
story
track
time.
easily.
Story time. So this is it's called Rumpkin. This is out of Avery Brewing Co. I did not notice the percentage, guys.
So Kim brought this over, and I was like, "What do you have?" And she's like, "Oh, I have this, and it's a rum."
Well, I saw it and it said
beer.
Rumpkin, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
But my
ale
first question, per usual, I was like, "What's the percentage?" And it's 17.5%.
It's strong AF.
But we haven't tasted it, so I'm excited.
So we're about to pour a little bit of this.
Pour a little liquor in my glass.
We're not going to give Jackie too much.
Just a
'cause
little,
She's got
yeah.
all the drinks over there right now.
I do. It smells very pumpkin-y, but I definitely can smell.
I don't know if
Here,
you
Danny,
wanna maybe-
pass it on.
We'll give some of this to Steve-O, too. All right.
Okay.
So you guys ready to try it together?
Let's try this.
Get all the notes and whatnot.
Cheers.
Flavors.
Daniel.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Oh. Oh, man.
okay. What's
is-
everybody's reaction? I will say I was scared because I don't love rum. It doesn't have a very strong rum finish.
It tastes like, guys, if you have a pumpkin beer and you just throw a little shot of Captain in it. That's what it gives me.
Yeah.
It's like very...
But I think it's a much
know if
more
that's a word.
mild. Like it's.
What do you have to say, Scotch drinker? I see the wheels
Danny
turning over there.
is much better at using better adjectives than us.
He is.
We're like, it smells rummy and
We're going to give you a
vodka-y.
first grade definition here, but what do you got?
Danny's like, if we use a thesaurus to sound smarter, Danny's the thesaurus.
Mm-hmm.
You're being too generous. It doesn't come off as very alcoholic as I was maybe expecting.
Oh.
No. It really
Okay.
doesn't. It doesn't. This is something, imagine it, because we're drinking it. We only had it in the fridge a short time. If you maybe threw some ice in it, I think that would help a little bit and let
But
the
you
ice
don't
melt
throw
slightly.
ice in pumpkin beer. That says enough
Okay,
about
girl.
it, guys.
Okay, girl. Well,
That
obviously
says
you
enough.
don't know me.
It's obviously strong, but okay.
But obviously Kim doesn't know me because I put ice in my Busch Light earlier.
Okay, well, fuck. On that subject, let's get into our stories.
You guys, it's
Come on.
fucking Halloween.
It's Halloween.
And so last year, well, it's not Halloween today, guys.
Jackie's going to start us off with some stories.
So I love Halloween. Like Halloween is really my favorite holiday, but literally probably from the time I was like, I don't know, 19 to 32. I went hard. We went hard. We'd always get dressed up. One of the best outfits Steve and I ever did when we first started dating, maybe we're 2 years dating, we dressed as zombies, but they were fucking epic. We went to Goodwill and got he got a suit, and Steven's 6'5", and he got a suit and it stopped here.
Oh,
it
man.
short. It was powder blue, and we just put so much. We painted ourselves like
Dumb and Dumber
grayish,
blue? Like
but
that
then
color?
we put fake blood everywhere.
Oh,
It
okay.
was amazing. People were literally like, "You guys look so good," and we were like, "I know."
Do you have a picture of it? Maybe we can
Probably
post it to the
somewhere in an
Facebook
old
page.
phone. Yeah, we need to pull those
Okay,
out.
find that.
And then we went to the Monsters Bash at one of the big casinos, I don't know, around here, because they have these huge monster balls. So yeah, we used to love to do it. And it's this year is kind of sucky. I feel bad
Yeah.
for you guys who have kids and you got to keep it, social distance, whatever. So I think we'll just sit in our driveway and just throw candy at the kids that come by.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm
we
into
should
it.
do that, and then if they can catch it, they can have it.
Full size candy bars, y'all.
It teaches
I'm gonna
them.
do it.
It teaches them work ethic.
Yeah, it does. You gotta work, little bitches. Little bitches.
And Kim can say that in the background.
I'll just be like, little witches, little witches.
Okay, so we have a plan.
All right. Yeah. That's what we're doing.
Okay, so
Because this is pre-recorded. It's
Yes.
Friday. I hate when people say that, actually. It's Friday. Like,
and Halloween is tomorrow.
like Rebecca Black says, it's Friday. It's Friday. That's
Oh
not
my
any
God.
better.
That is the worst. That is
Okay.
the worst.
Yeah.
So it's Friday. Okay. So, but we thought instead of doing like our normal like crime, like full out stories, we would just like share some like really good ghost stories, but that are
Yes.
also still true. Mm-hmm. So what I did for my take on it is I was like, okay, well, let's see like what is the haunted shit in Omaha. Mm-hmm. And I came across a website, which we'll share it on our page. And it's like the 8 most haunted places in Omaha, which let's be honest, it's like, this is this author's take on the most haunted places. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to share a couple that I feel like we're all familiar with. One I do want to talk about is it's called the Cornerstone Mansion Bed and Breakfast. So this is like if anybody's from Omaha, it's in the Blackstone district.
Okay, I know where that is.
Which, if you're from Omaha or know the area, it's like a very popular social district with like bars and restaurants.
That's where the Reuben was made.
Yes,
supposedly.
It is.
It's a toss-up between, I think, New York and Omaha.
But New Yorkers lie. It was here. It was here.
But yeah, it's right on the edge of the Blackstone Hotel, that area.
So like that area is like literally hundreds, like dates back to like the 1890s. So cool story about this place, this mansion. I mean, it's just like basic ghost bitch stuff.
I actually don't know if I know about this.
Oh, well,
so
you
tell me.
can see the picture. I know that you've seen the house. The funny thing is my sister used to own a house in that same district that was, I think her house was built in like 1890.
Wow.
And her house was very much like this, where they like named them mansions and things. And they were like considered historical sites by the city because they're so old. And so my sister, she did not like the whole because we were always like, your house is haunted as fuck. And she was like this huge house. So
It's huge. Beautiful.
this house, the Cornerstone Mansion, it was literally like 1 block away from where my sister used to live. And one time my sister was going out of town. So we're like, me and my other sisters were like, hey, give us the key to your house. And we are going to use all of the ghost equipment while you're gone. Like the... What do you call
EVP
it?
or
Yes,
the
we
not
use-
it's okay.
well,
There's
we
like
use,
the
like, the
EVP
thing and the
system,
things that beep.
the ghost reader. Guys,
Yes.
correct us. I'm not sure what the
And
name
it
is.
was going crazy.
Was
it?
it?
Was. And
It was going hard
we
in that
thought it was
bitch?
going to be fun, and we were like a little drunk, of course. And then we're like, okay, but this is a little scary.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be here anymore.
That's crazy.
But it is like this house is just like basically they have said like multiple people in the history have like seen an elderly woman that's like has like a white it's an apparition, so she's like kind of obviously like background in white, and they've seen her and they see her just moving about the house like she still lives there, like
I don't know why-
doing things like seeming like she's wiping things down. I think that's common in like any big city where you have these old buildings, because I'm a huge ghost believer.
Are you?
Are you?
I have a hard time with it. Like if I can't see something, I'm like, shit ain't real. So it's,
I can understand that.
and I haven't had really a lot of paranormal experiences myself, but I'm open to it. I mean, not too open to it.
Well, another
But-
one, and I'll tell you why I'm so into ghosts. If anybody knows me, and I think a lot of people can relate. And another one that's on the list is Mystery Manor, which is a haunted house in Omaha. If anybody knows, it's like, you go there, you pay your $15, you go in, blah, blah, blah.
So Mystery Manor is down near the downtown area. Because we've got listeners who don't know what the hell we're talking
so
about.
it's like in a very
So
like,
it's like
but when you think of your downtown area, that's like has lots of bars,
old
restaurants,
historical
old.
buildings, and that is one of them.
Yes.
In fact, in that area, it's right near Creighton University, and I believe that Mystery Manor is like the only building that's standing
Right.
in that area that's not owned by Creighton. So
And it is, and so like the
Interesting.
people who run it as a haunted house, I've heard, this is just speculation, but I've heard that they have been offered by like different developers have offered them multiple times to like
I'm
buy
sure.
it so they could tear it down and use the land. Because I mean, it's been there that long.
yeah, it's
But
old.
that one was haunted because in 1929, a gentleman named William Hall actually murdered his wife Greta there because it was like when the stock market crashed, he was like losing everything and think they're living in a mansion at that time. And he murdered her as kind of like just part of his meltdown of like losing everything. So they say that she still roams the rooms. And have you been there like as a haunted house?
One
Even
time
in past years?
I fucking freaked out. I was like 17 and I was like, I can handle it. I'll go down the slide because they have like a big slide and I was like,
Yeah.
ah! And I ended up like sneaking out the door. Like I had like a panic attack. I didn't know that about myself at the time,
It's a little creepy.
but it's
But I think that's what makes it such cool haunted houses because you go there like for the Halloween effect, but at the same time, it has like this true ghost history. So that's. I
but
think
their
what makes
slide
it cool.
is fire apparently.
So like here's the thing: when you get to the very end of the haunted house, you have two options, and you either go out the chicken door, which is where Kim exited, stage left, or you go down this slide, and it is. I mean, it's very short, but it's It is kind of claustrophobic. I mean, it's real tight. You have to put your arms across your chest, and it's like, but you go down fast, and it's
I wonder
kind of a
where-
cool finish.
Yeah, and the fact that it's historically
Yeah.
actually haunted.
So now I'm really interested because I don't know what story you have, but I know you got a little ghost
Okay,
story.
so yeah, guys, I'm gonna take the floor for a minute here, and tonight, I am going to tell a very in the area, very well known story, but I think it's important to tell the story around Halloween. I'm going to tell you guys about the Villisca Axe Murders.
Why do I just feel like
Oh
you
my
have to say
god.
that?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I was laying in bed all night last night, fucking awake because I did research on this and
That's cool. That makes us want to hear it.
yeah, like I would close my eyes and I could see like
We're like,
all
yeah.
the people that lived in this house. Anyways, here we
You're
go.
like, tell us so we cannot
so.
sleep with you.
Yes. Yay. Happy Halloween.
Okay. Let me get one of my 17 glasses
yeah,
over here.
yeah. Get ready.
Okay.
Are you ready for it? Like T Swift says. And we say it every episode. Anyways, so
It's about fucking time that T Swift picks up on us
God.
and how much we
Love
love
you.
her. Jeez,
Anyways.
T Swift. You're sleeping on us.
So, this story takes place about an hour and a half away from Omaha in a town called Villisca, Iowa. This town is very tiny and it's in Montgomery County, Iowa. It was established in 1872.
I've never even heard of that county, to be honest.
It's kind of off the beaten path. There's a little story behind the name. The town's founders took the name from a site from the Sac and Fox word, Villisca. They were thinking that it meant pretty place. Unbeknownst to them, the word refers to an evil spirit or Satan. It's the name of the town.
Seems accurate for Iowa. Just
Jeez.
kidding.
Hey.
Just kidding, but not really, though.
Iowa.
Shots fired.
Iowa is not that much different than Nebraska.
Oh,
I
don't
mean,
say that.
Come on.
Okay, but we're okay. Go, continue.
Maybe when you talk about COVID rates, but we don't have to go there. Okay, so the population was 1,252 in 2010, according to the
Poppin'.
census. Yeah. I just got that one song in my head that's like, what's poppin'? Brand new whip, what's happening?
Oh, Jack
Anyways.
Harlow?
Yeah,
I like him.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, although in the early 1900s, the population was about 1,500 or so back then. So maybe on the better part of like 2,000 people because it was like a train town. So
So you really know everybody's business. Like,
yeah.
for
Oh,
real.
I'm sure everybody.
Oh, I couldn't live in a place like that because I do not need people knowing my business.
Yeah. Locals preferred to their town be known as the Bacon and Egg Center of Southwest
Oh,
Iowa.
I like it.
Due to all the egg laying facilities and the pork livestock farms in the area. So it's kind of cute. Side note, I used to travel all over the state of Iowa for work years ago before I met Danny. Anyways, and I would go to these little towns, like a town called Ottumwa, Iowa, and they had a pork plant, and they had, like, I think it was like Thursday nights, like here in Nebraska, it's like, oh, okay, we got like Busch Light on special at the bar, but like they had like Busch Light on special, and they'd give you a little like plate of bacon.
Oh my God.
To go along with your beer.
They're like, these were some bad little piggies this week.
It was just crazy. At first I was like, oh, that's so sad, right down the street. But then I went there and I was like, okay, I could get used to this. But anyway, so getting into the story here. Josiah and Sarah Moore and their 4 children lived in this little house. I'm not sure how to describe the house. It's because, spoiler alert, Danny and I went to this house because it's a museum. It's just a tiny little, like
a farmhouse?
Like less than 1,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, a little farmhouse.
Especially back in that day, wasn't going to be a huge...
Because it's, like I said, museum is still standing.
Yeah.
So, what?
It was probably built like mid-1800s.
Mid-1800s?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so this is just a guesstimate on that, guys. But tiny, tiny little house. So Josiah and Sarah Moore and their 4 children, Herman Montgomery, he's 11, Mary Catherine, age 10, Arthur Boyd, age 7, and Paul Vernon. So it was said they actually did pretty well for themselves in the community. I don't know if they were like middle class, because when I think like 1,000 square foot house, I'm like, oh.
But they were making all the bacon and eggs, apparently.
No, I mean, that was the town. That was the name of the town, Jackie. But yes.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, it was said that they were well known and very well liked in their community, and that they did okay. So on Sunday evening, June 9th, 2000,
I was like, 2000, what the what?
Sunday evening, June 9th, 1912.
Okay, that sounds more accurate. I was like, this shit done just happened?
So Josiah and Sarah took their 4 children to the Children's Day service at the Presbyterian Church a few blocks from their home. And Ina and Lena Stillinger were friends of the kids, and they were all just kind of hanging out, like...
doing kid things.
Yeah, kid things at the church.
We don't know what that is, guys.
In a tiny town in 1912. So let's be honest, none of us can really understand what they were fully relate. But small town stuff. So Ina and Lena, who, were friends of Mary Catherine's, they wanted to have a sleepover. And so they...
parents don't want to do that shit.
Oh, but remember when we used to have sleepovers? And it was just so fun.
Because your mom was nice. But when you have 5,000 kids already at your house, you don't
But
want to
I
have
think
kids
it's like
sleepover.
it's like dogs. It's like, what's 2 more? Come on. Come on over.
I've actually heard parents say that.
Oh, God. So the girls asked their parents if they could stay over at the Moore's house. And I said, in my notes, because yay, sleepovers. But so the parents, actually, I believe it was Ina and Lena's sister, Blanche. She said she just gave the okay. And they stayed over at the house. So they finished the night, and they were excited about the Sunday school program in the morning, I guess.
Boy, were we different kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want me to go to Sunday school?
I think it was Sunday school. I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that they were staying over, or it was possibly because
Sunday school sounds accurate.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go with it.
So
Sarah was a co-director, and her children were very involved in this church, so that does make sense. The Saturday night evening service ended around 9:30. They did like a little social, and everybody was kind of hanging out. Because I was like, 9:30, that's kind of late, but
late.
Whatever. They're having fun. It was Saturday night, so
that was like their.
That's
club.
nothing for us.
That was a club there.
That's like when we're starting out the night.
10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
10 years
Not now.
ago.
Jackie's like, I'm in bed by that time.
Now I'm
but
like, do not call me or text me after 9:30 unless somebody done died.
that's offensive. Okay, so both parents and all 6 kids head on the short walk home. They get home and the kids have some milk and cookies and everyone settles into bed. Ina and Lena, so they have like one bedroom on the main floor, and upstairs in the attic they have the parents' bedroom, which branches off into the kids' room. So I think the main floor bedroom was like a spare bedroom, which was also something that like was not normal at the time. I don't know if they had somebody that came and stayed with them
Or maybe they
periodically.
rented the room out, because I know some people did it even back then.
Yeah,
for
that could
extra
have been
money.
the case.
Yeah.
But so the 2 girls slept downstairs, and all of the more kids went upstairs to their bed, and the parents were in their bed. Okay, so at 7 a.m. the next day, Mary Peckham, she was the Moore's neighbor, like literally right next door. She is like kind of alarmed because, you know, when you got that many kids, there's noise at 7 a.m. Plus you got animals. And
That's why we don't have none of those
So like
kids.
it's like eerily quiet next door. So she's, you know, like a little confused by that. And she notices that their chickens are cooped up and their animals in the barn are still cooped up. And she's like, I should probably, you know, go check on them. So Mary goes over and knocks on the Moore's door. She tries to open the door and discovers the door is locked, which is like, what the fuck? That's weird. You know, I'm sure in a tiny little town like Villisca, like people are not locking their doors. But anyway, that was my thought. So Mary lets the chickens out and she calls Ross Moore, which is Josiah's brother. He lived nearby. He comes over right away and he knocks on the door. He receives no like response. He's yelling. He's like, "Hey, guys, let me in. Like, are you there?" Because they didn't have a car or anything. So it obviously. You know,
Yeah, it's like
12,
they're just like, they should be coming to the door.
Yeah, they should be coming to the door. So Mary stood on the porch and Ross has a key. So he opens up the door and he walks into the living room and the spare bedroom is right there. And he sees like 2 figures of bodies laying on the bed and like blood splattered. Ooh. And he notices that their like faces are covered up. And I believe he lifts the covers and then sees Lena and Ina's bodies.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
can you imagine?
No, I can't. It was fucking
Especially
horrible.
little babies. They're
So
just babies.
he just goes out. He goes out to tell Mary, and he's like, "Mary, you got to call Hank Horton, which is their primary peace officer." So I don't know if that's
I'm guessing it's something like
police
the sheriff
officer
and
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
probably had different labels. Then.
fucking tiny town, like you know. So Hank shows up, and he does a search of the house, and comes outside and tells them somebody's murdered in every bed. This is obviously like horrifying. This is not something
Clearly,
that in Villisca that people are used to dealing with. I think that there was like, I don't even know how many murders there had been at this point. Like very, very few, if any. So they find the axe and it's partially cleaned. And it's just leaning up against the south wall in the downstairs bedroom, which was where the Stillinger girls were. So it's presumed that these killings begin in the attic next to the bedrooms, because there's like a little like when you walk in the house, there's like a front door and a back door. But when you walk in, which I'm assuming most people probably come through the back door in this house because their little barn is out in the backyard. So like when you come into the kitchen area, like you walk into the house and there's like a kitchen area and then you take a right and there's like attic stairs and that's where the bedrooms were.
Well, that's common in old houses.
Yeah. So like, and then when you walk up there, it's like basically like boom, parents' bedroom. And then if you look to your left, there's like a little like almost like nook, almost like your little nook over there.
Okay,
and
well,
your-
don't liken it to shit around here.
All right. Well, I'm
We
just
don't
saying.
need our
It's
ghosts
like
having
almost
any
like that
kind.
little
We
nookie
don't
over
need
there.
any of our ghosts having
But
any
so-
kind of ideas tonight.
So like they
Don't play with me.
No, but seriously, it's so creepy because they think like this killer was just like hiding out in that space while they were gone. That's one of the theories. But anyway, we'll get into the theories later. But because they found 2 cigarette butts like in that attic space.
That would make it seem like,
Ugh,
yeah.
ugh. It just fucking.
But already I'm like, and this isn't a conspiracy or a theory. It's more just like, how does one person bludgeon that many people in different areas without
just wait.
them awakening and alerting the others?
Yeah, I haven't even told you.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, it's just sorry, like discretion. This is just very, very dark and.
But hey, unfortunately, this is reality because some terrible people like this do exist. I mean, obviously this person is long gone, but we still need to.
Yeah. The killer or killers used the blade of the axe on Josiah. This is what they assumed based on the evidence. Josiah. So the killers used the blade of the axe on Josiah while using the blunt end on the rest of the victims. Herman, Mary Catherine, Arthur, and Paul were bludgeoned in the head in the same manner as their parents. And afterwards, the murderer returned to the master bedroom to inflict more blows on the parents. And there was like there's a lot of weird things about this. But like there was a shoe that was full of blood, and they assumed that it was knocked over before he went down, before this person or these people went downstairs to kill Ina and Lena. But it all shit popped off upstairs. In
layman's terms.
Yeah, sorry. It was fucking bad up there first. It was
is
also
just crazy.
it's so fucked. It was also presumed that everyone was asleep in their beds at the time of the murder, except for Lena, and that's because she had they think she had like a defense mark on her arm.
Oh.
And some other things that were very strange that this killer did. I'm gonna go ahead and call him a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. I think we can
That's
use
how
that
I
for
feel.
it. Yeah.
So the first was they found a 4-pound piece of like a slab of bacon, raw bacon.
What the what?
Yeah. So that was found down on the main floor in the
Like somebody was just gonna fry it up in a pan, but
Well,
instead I'm gonna kill all these.
I guess
people.
it was like it was like wrapped in like a rag of some sort. So when you think like
But I
bacon,
think that was
like,
normal that when they went to the butcher and they
Oh,
get
was
the
it?
meat, yeah, and they would
Oh.
wrap it. They wouldn't wrap it in plastic. Think back and then didn't have plastic like we do, so they'd wrap it in cloths and things.
yeah, okay.
But still, like, why would you bring it?
It was right next to the axe in that bedroom where
yeah, like
the
why
little
would you
girls
bring
were.
it to the scene of
the
that
guests.
crime? Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of fucked up. I can tell you what, like, it has been theorized. That
Mike, do you see
maybe.
my face? I'm like, what?
Do you
Go
want to
ahead.
know?
Yes,
I don't.
want to
Okay.
know, of course.
You're like, yeah, I want to know.
I know.
So it was theorized that maybe this pile of dog shit person used the bacon as a masturbation attempt because one of the girls, Lena, her dress had been pulled up and her undergarments were missing. I mean, there was not like
my
any.
God.
I know. Sorry, I told you it was bad.
No, but because we always hear, especially in this area, we always hear Villisca, and so we think we know, but I didn't know any of
No,
those.
it's so fucking crazy.
Okay, I'm still listening.
But yeah, like by all accounts, the murderer covered up the mirrors and the glass, like windows in the house. Like presumably maybe because like they didn't want to see their own face, like back in these times, like mirrors, so, had been like said to like reveal spirits, or if you say, I don't know,
True.
there
Or,
were
like,
a lot of
somebody's
weird,
true self.
yeah,
or,
like,
yeah.
So that's where they kind of went with that. And the shades are, like I said, the shades were all closed. I don't think that's really unusual, personally, that the shades were closed. Every other fucking thing, yes. But
it is crazy. Like, I mean, we've said it before in other stories. Like, think about at that time. Like, it's so as long as somebody doesn't see you slip into the house, you could get away with murder like that.
I know,
because
and I mean,
there's no Ring doorbell seeing you come in.
Yeah.
Or, no cameras. Like, it's
crazy, and it's not like there's no. I mean, it's 1912, so like there's no way to prove anything, and I'm gonna keep going with that, but where I was going is like it has been said that maybe the doors were unlocked, but I mean, I feel like that's a pretty big key point there that they, in all my research, they say most of the time, everything I've read, they're saying that the doors were locked. So I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that that's probably accurate. So that just makes it more creepy.
But I just think it's crazy. Like, I understand, like, there being multiple people in the house, and if you attack them and you have a weapon and they don't. But it's like, if people hear screams and sounds of struggle, like, especially for those girls that were in the lower level, it's like, I'm just surprised there wasn't one person who was like, oh, I hear this going on, I'm going to run.
Lena was definitely...
Well, she had defense runes, you said. But you would just think that thered be one person
somebody would
like,
try
hey,
to get out of there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just a really
that's why I kind of feel like, was there just one person?
There could have been two.
Yeah.
Who knows? I guess we'll never
know. Because that's a
know.
lot of victims for one person to
It
like...
is.
You know,
it is.
Like, ugh.
So, this was 1912, y'all. So this was the same year as the Titanic.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Which, like, I think it was like 2 months. Titanic was like 2 months prior. So,
we all know how that turned out.
2020 is a bad year, but
if you don't know, ask Celine Dion.
1912 was also kind of a bad year. So I'm guessing forensics were a bit lacking.
True story, I'm sure. Like not even existent.
Yeah. So the county coroner, Dr. Lindquist from Stanton, Iowa, I believe, he refused to release the bodies until authorized to do so by County Attorney Ratcliffe. Mr. Ratcliffe was visiting in Cedar Rapids, and he was notified of the murder. He was on the westbound train that arrived Monday evening within minutes of the bloodhounds. So they had some bloodhounds coming in from Beatrice, Nebraska. Meanwhile, the residents of Villisca were getting restless. You know, they'd found out about this murder.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like on guard the whole night.
Yeah, and this is not routine. Yeah. Not a normal occurrence in Villisca, Iowa. So, but they went a little cray. Some of them like bombarded the house and they were like wanted to go in and see the bodies.
Ooh, that's a little much.
Allegedly, like one of the like crazies in the town took a portion of Josiah's skull. So that's fucking gross.
Ooh,
and that's crazy.
Maybe that could be the people like
I don't know.
Killers often take momentums from.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying it could.
I'm like with you. I'm just like this is just so heavy.
It's just because they're so like obviously like it's so long ago that it's like it's just all. I mean,
maybe they were all just like true crime buffs at heart, and they, I don't know, but they did have. There was a guy who went in and was taking some pictures, and Ross, Josiah's brother, went in and just like freaked out and like grabbed him and was like, what are you doing? You know, because like that, I'm sure that's a lot, but I think from what I read, he was doing it more for like I think he was more of like an investigator.
Right.
You know. So the two bloodhounds and their handler arrived at 9 p.m. via train. In case you were wondering how they got there. Mm-hmm. Just wanted to let you know.
Wouldn't that be odd if you're like, hey, my guys are coming, but they're on that last train? And why was I? When you said train the first time, I was like, on that midnight train to Georgia. That's exactly what I thought. But these trains are not going to Georgia. Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. So, they were brought the 8 blocks from the depot to the murder house. in Bert McCall's car. I'm like, who is Bert?
Bert must have had some monies because
Yeah.
cars were
Bert.
expensive then.
Yeah, he had a car. Vroom, vroom. These dogs are like given the scent, from the axe. And then even though like I wrote in my notes here, there were fucking hundreds of people that had handled the axe.
Oh, I'm
like
sure.
crime scene 101, boo-boos. No.
Think back then, they probably didn't have this whole.
I know, it's hard. It's hard for me.
They probably had processes, but they probably weren't.
Yeah,
as
and then people are like bum rushing the house. They want in, and then they're like,
I'm not gonna lie. If some
look.
shit was going on in my neighborhood, I'd be
Yeah.
like, okay, let me see what's going on. I better
Jackie.
see if I can get the camera.
Would you take in a piece of his skull though?
Absolutely not.
What the fuck? Okay, so they have the dogs try to catch a scent on the cloth that he used to wipe it clean, and these dogs, set off to try to catch a scent. This was estimated at about 2,000 people.
That had been through the crime scene.
No, that had came out there to support.
Okay.
It's like these poor dogs.
The
I
time's like,
need
we're
a
confused. We're
miracle.
confused.
They're like miracle workers over here. So the mob pursued on foot, horseback, and in cars. Like I mentioned, it does seem a little silly to think that these dogs could just follow the scent.
Just one straight person.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it's also cold and rainy that night. So I don't know. They ran through town and ended at the West Fork of the Nottoway River. I'm not sure where that is, but
Me either.
somewhere in Villisca.
But I'm not that great with geography. If you guys haven't noticed in previous episodes.
So they made a second run down the same trail, and they didn't finish until after midnight. So they gave it a good go.
Yeah. But,
Trying to figure this out. They retraced their route for a third time in the morning and then returned like failures to Nebraska. That's, oh God.
Poor dogs.
Boo-boos. I mean, it's hard to be a cadaver dog.
It's harder here for a pimp. By pimp, I mean cadaver dog.
So, anyway, on to the suspects.
I already have mine. Well, I don't have actual people, but okay, you go ahead first. You go ahead first since you have all the facts.
Do you guys want to give me your theories, or do you want to just...
No, I want to hear yours.
Okay, cool. We'll do this.
Because then I can decide how stupid mine sound.
So, one of the main suspects was Frank Jones. He goes by the name of F.F. Jones. Josiah worked for him, and he worked with him for 7 years, give or take. And they kind of had a falling out because Josiah decided that he was going to quit working for him and start his own little shop.
Oh, sorry, Frankie.
And
Josiah's got his own game now.
Yeah. So
and also, I can't blame Josiah. That's how you get ahead in life.
Yeah, but there was just a lot of animosity,
which I can understand. Frank would feel like Josiah's taking business from him. Yeah,
and he did. He actually one of his clients was John Deere. I would imagine that is a big fucking client to take from.
I can imagine.
In Iowa.
I can imagine.
And then
then and now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so there was another thing that was, allegedly not good for Josiah. He allegedly had an affair with Frank's.
No, you didn't, JoJo.
Yeah, whoa. Frank's daughter-in-law. So, yeah. So they, it was also said that they wouldn't be able to walk down the street next to each other, which is streets. There's not that many streets in Villisca, so
But that tells you how close. That's why you gotta live in a big city.
There's some animosity
where your
there.
business is spread out.
So he was the main suspect. Okay. One of the main theories is that F.F. Jones potentially paid someone to kill Josiah and his family. Because he was an older guy,
but why
wealthy
his
man.
I understand Josiah because he's pissed at Josiah, but why?
I don't know,
It takes a whole different level of crazy to kill kids.
Yeah, it's just a theory. I don't know for sure if it was him.
I know. You know me.
I wasn't there. Okay?
You know me. I always just got to throw in the...
Quit yelling at me.
No, I will never quit yelling at you.
So, yeah. So, like, he, like I mentioned, he was an older, wealthier man. But there were a lot of people in town that didn't think that he did it, but that he maybe paid someone. Okay. Well, there was a man named William Mansfield, and he was rumored to possibly have done this because it came out later that he had murdered his own wife and children around the same time. Like, I think it might have been a little
Lord
after.
Jesus.
So he was, people were putting shit together. There was some stuff brewing.
Can you imagine if there's 2 people in one small town that will murder children?
Well,
that seems crazy.
It came out that it probably wasn't William because his alibi was legit. He was in town, or he wasn't in town. He was in Illinois when it happened.
Okay, Billy.
All right, so on to the next one. Like,
on to the next. I'm on to the next. I'm on to the next
one. I was going to
Shout
say
out
like
to
Jay.
Jay.
Like Jay says.
Jay would
Hova.
be like,
Wait, is it Ho-
yes, Jay-Z would be like, please don't say my name ever again.
Yeah, he's like, shut the fuck up. So, so there was a man named George Lynn Kelly, and he was an English man, also a preacher.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's guilty.
Jackie's already assuming. He had been in town the night of the murders. Like, he got off a train, was in town, I believe, for like the first time, which is like, you're guilty. But anyway, and he was actually at the church the night of the murders. And he was considered a suspect because I am just going to assume, based on what I read, I'm assuming it was because he was very mentally ill. He was diagnosed schizophrenic at one point. Mr. George Kelly was also a very weird man. He was also described as a very overly sexual man.
Okay.
Which
would account for the girl's britches being pulled down.
Yes, I was going to say that. At one point, he placed an ad in the Omaha World Herald. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Yeah. And
that's our local paper, guys, in case you don't know.
Just saying, like, shout out to Omaha, but not really.
That is currently owned by a Mr. Sir Warren Buffett.
Hey. Mm-hmm. So back to Creepy George.
So he placed an ad
Creepy
in the
George,
Omaha World Herald for what?
He wanted a secretary, and I just wanted. When I read this, I was like, "You mean secretary?" But in his ad, mind you, this is the early 1900s, so this is probably extra weird. He wrote things like that he wanted a secretary to type in the nude. That was like a requirement.
But hey, if he put it in the ad, you can't blame him if people are showing up on his doorstep like, I would like to apply for this position.
In Omaha World Herald in 1900s, like.
But if he was honest, I'd be like, you know what? If you come to my house with clothes on, you knew what the position was for. This is not it.
I don't know what song it is that's like, I want to interlude in the nude. But anyways.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. It's like
Lil' Kim.
Yes.
Oh, what is it? We need more. I think is Maze part of that?
I don't probably. All right, moving on. Keep
you guys,
it moving.
We're gonna sing that in a minute.
Okay, so Kelly left town on a train. I failed to mention that he was also like known to be like a peeping Tom.
Okay,
at one point.
I'm thinking he's guilty.
So okay, yeah. So if you thought then, wait to hear this.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
Kelly left town on a train the next morning after the murders.
Weird.
And he allegedly made comments to people that day, allegedly, that there were 8 dead souls in their beds. And this was like before anybody knew the bodies were like in their beds, dead. So that's kind of fucking weird, Kelly. Like,
but that's a lot of allegations, because even days now, like, you can't like take somebody's like it's hearsay if somebody says something without a recording.
I mean, to be fair, the people that did say that retracted their statements not long after.
Oh,
so,
okay.
it's a little hard to assume that. And I think when I read this, I was like, oh, he definitely was definitely the killer. But I mean, he was very mentally ill, and he had a lot of strikes against him. He was obviously like a very creepy sexual man. That doesn't make him a murderer.
No.
Makes him a weird person,
And
terrible
especially
person. But that doesn't
think
mean
about the stigma against people who are mentally ill now, which is terrible because there shouldn't be one. But think about it back then, how severe that stigma was, because they didn't understand as much. Now we have some more facts about, okay, this is why people are acting this way, and we can understand like it's not them making these choices. So maybe people just immediately were like, "Oh, he's crazy." It's his fault. You
well,
know,
they definitely got him to confess to
which can
murdering
happen.
the whole
People can
family.
be coerced pretty easily.
And he did go to, I don't know if he went to court, but he was tried for the murder of Lena, which is
Only
like
one victim?
Yeah,
That's odd.
and I think that was because of her, because of how she appeared to have potentially been sexually assaulted. So, but he was exonerated from this crime later on down the road. So, lastly on my list here, I'm sure there's been a lot more suspects over the years, because it's been a long time, guys, like well over 100 years.
Yes.
So, Henry Lee Moore, he was a serial killer, and his MO was covering mirrors. He had been known to wipe the axes clean. Very similar to the Villisca case. There was another thing I wanted to also bring up. There was a lot of train traffic in this town. So could it have maybe been Henry Lee Moore, the serial killer in the area? Maybe, or could it have been someone that just was
Like a
hitching
drifter?
rides? Yeah, drifter hitching rides on the trains, because there were 5 incidences in the Midwest of axe murder killings. One was in Colorado Springs, one was in Mammoth, Illinois, Ellsworth, Kansas, Paola, Kansas, and then Villisca. And there were some factors that were similar. Something I didn't mention was in Villisca there was an oil lamp thing where they would like bend the wick. I'm not familiar with oil lamps.
No, because we turn on switches now.
Yeah, so I'm
So we don't know about the oil
don't know
lamp.
if you guys didn't know that about me, that I'm not
So
familiar.
we even have dimmer switches when you get real fancy with it.
But there were a lot of similarities there. That was one of the factors. Mirrors being covered, also strange.
Mirrors being covered, I think, is a significant one, because it's
Yeah.
like that's
Like,
not something
that's
you think
not-
that
it's very
anybody would do.
unique.
Like there's got to be a reason behind it, you know?
Yeah, and then like females. There were at a few of the places there were females that were like unclothed, and then bludgeoned. It's just there were too many similarities to not wonder if it was a drifter, and I think ultimately that is the top theory, is that someone was hopping on trains, and which is just fucking terrifying. Like, it really is.
It is.
And I just feel.
But that's what we've said multiple times and on multiple episodes. It is like that. I mean, it's crazy, and we say crazy, and I think people mistake it for like saying like, "Oh, that's cool." We're not saying it's cool, but it's like it was just such a different time that as long as somebody didn't see you do it at that time, you were not going to be found out.
No.
And I'm so thankful that we don't live in a
And there was no DNA
in a lifetime like that.
Like,
Yeah, I'm so
yeah,
thankful
it's-
that now that's not the case. That people are at least a little more vigilant and have video cameras and DNA. And
If we had one of those things in this case, that guy would have been caught for sure. Or
Yeah,
guys.
absolutely.
Who knows? Another thing also that I failed to mention was that they think this person was wearing gloves when
I wonder
killed.
why. Did they say why they thought that?
No.
Maybe because of the
fingerprinting was a thing.
Yeah.
And sorry, there was just a lot in this story, and I was trying to take notes on everything, so apologize, guys. But you can dive down some crazy rabbit holes with this. There's movies, documentaries. One thing I wanted to mention was the fact that this is a museum, and Danny and I went there a few weeks ago and did the tour. And just to share our personal experience, like I didn't feel any paranormal presence, but our tour guide had said he had stayed there over 200 times overnight, because you can actually like rent this place out.
So you can pay to
and
stay there
not
with like
rent
a group of your friends.
Yeah, and you basically can like bring sleeping bags. Like I mean, it is.
It's
like
kind of like a dare, like a truth or dare.
Ooh,
Yeah.
but I don't know, guys. Like I wouldn't.
Me either. I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna drink this entire bottle of vodka, and then I won't stay up.
But you don't want to like sleep on any of the beds. It's like all old furniture. Like it's just, you just basically can rent that space and do what you want. But he was saying that like it kind of varies from what my takeaway was. Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like he said that it kind of varied from day to day, and he thinks like as far as like the paranormal activity, it didn't seem like for me, I didn't feel really anything when we were there, but he said he's done like 200 and some overnight visits, and one day he has all kinds of things happen, and the next day nothing, and definitely think it's worth going to visit if you guys have the opportunity.
Oh, I definitely want to go. And I don't think like when it comes to paranormal, I don't think you can expect for something to be happening every time you go.
Yeah, I don't know what I just didn't know what to expect.
I guess I feel like, because I'm definitely a true believer in the paranormal, so I feel like even souls have to rest sometimes, like even if they're restless souls. That's just me.
Oh, something I was going to say, and then I was kind of trailing off, was he thought that the house was haunted. It wasn't the spirits there being there. It was like the actual house, right? Yeah. So like that's really creepy to think about.
Interesting.
And I asked him, he was like, "You guys have any questions?" And I was like,
"You're like, I have 1,001 questions."
I never have questions like when I should have questions, but the one question I did have for him was like, how did people like just move right in after this happened? And I think he said they gave like 6 months free rent. And then like it kind of reminded me of like the Amityville. Like some people lived there and they didn't feel anything and they had no weird experiences. There were people that moved out like the same night. So
yeah,
I don't know.
And that's why I said
crazy.
I think some nights the souls rest and some nights they don't.
Yeah. So there's a YouTube video that I recommend, and we'll link it to our sources and our Facebook page and YouTube page, Prism Paranormal, because something that I saw years ago about this story that like freaked me out was all the photos with the orbs. I don't know if you guys believe in orbs. It could just be dust. It could not be. I don't know.
I definitely believe in paranormal. I don't know how I feel about orbs because I feel like they can be enhanced in the photographs.
Have you ever seen them on your camera? Like,
no, I've never seen one on one that I've taken. So maybe that would make me a believer if I saw one.
Well, I have a little story for you about that. But and I will just say, like, this particular YouTube video, there's a lot of videos you can watch on
go
YouTube
down the rabbit hole,
yeah,
guys.
you can go down all the rabbit holes with doors closing and opening, and the pessimist in me is like, okay, there could have been wind, okay, but like
were there windows open?
Seriously, but like they do like an EVP, and it's creepy as shit. You can hear like it sounds like a little girl screaming, and then you hear like a man kind of like groaning a little bit. It's just weird. It's crazy. And the tour guide is actually in the video, so holler, check out that one.
Check them out.
Yeah, and I will tell you my personal experience with orbs. I am a huge dog lover, as you guys know.
We know
And
that about her.
I was living with my friend Jeff at the time, getting ready to move to South Dakota, and I had lost my dog. And I came
She didn't
home.
lose the dog, like,
She passed away.
passed away, yeah.
And my other dog and I went to bed, and I was like laying in bed in the dark, which I don't know, don't judge me, guys. And I think I was like sending a Snapchat or something. And I was taking like a selfie with my dog in the dark. I don't know. I was like, like the
Single life,
Flash.
guys, single
yeah,
life.
single life, single life. And I was like snapping the video, and I don't know if it was just that like his house was haunted or what. But like I was like snapping, and I hit the button, and the flash lights up, but like I see one orb go across the top of the screen, and then a second one. It was like whoosh, whoosh, like right in a row. And they like kind of went slow. So, oh my God, I got like chills thinking about it.
That's crazy.
And I was like not moving around in the bed. I was just laying with Betsy right next to me. And like I said, we had just lost her sister, and I was really close to this dog. And so like my mind went, I don't know, I probably sound crazy, guys, but like I just saw these really slow moving orbs across my camera, and I took the picture, and I didn't think anything of it. And I thought about it the next day, and I was like, that was kind of fucking creepy. Like, I don't know. I think orbs can be real, and I get when you take a picture and there's an orb in it. It could be dust. I don't know. But when they're like slow moving across your camera,
yeah, that kind of makes you wonder.
I don't know. It was weird. So like dive into the Villisca orbs. It's all over YouTube. You can just type that in and let me know what you think, guys. It's kind of crazy.
I know.
But what do you got, Jackie? You got some ghost stories for me?
Yeah. I mean, usually we do our drunken debauchery, but I got a ghost story for you guys.
Ooh.
A couple. They're real quick.
Okay. All right.
So, because remember, Kim was saying earlier how, and I totally agree with this. Like, if you can't experience something, you can't really believe it. Because I feel that way about a lot of things. Like, until I experience it, like, I'm just not going to be a full believer. So, I've told you guys a lot of times. I grew up in a large family. There's 9 kids. We had our parents. So, in our household, as we were growing up, there were 11 people in this tiny fucking house.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Yes. Oh, you tell me. And one bathroom.
Oh, shit.
Jesus. Stephen and I can't even share one bathroom. How did I share it with 10 other people? But we lived in this house, and it was small. I mean, literally it was, I think it's like 1,300 square feet. But it was old. And you remember we had those stairs, like the stairs that go upstairs, and they were so creaky. Like every single stair
you hear everybody going up and down.
You were not going to sneak out
no.
fucking nowhere, which really did not benefit us in later life. Because my mom didn't move out of the house until, I think I was maybe 30, 31 before she moved out. So I literally lived there my whole life. Anyways, so one time I sit up in my bedroom, I think I was like young. I was like 12 or 11, putting on my makeup. Like, that's when I'm testing out makeup, trying to figure out, that's when white eyeliner was cool.
Oh, God.
I know. Oh, my God.
It's going to make a comeback.
No, it's not.
Okay.
But so I heard those creaky stairs, and I knew that me and my dad were the only ones in the house. So I was like, I pushed open, I remember it vividly. I was sitting in front of the mirror, putting on my white eyeliner. And I heard the stairs creaking. So, like, you definitely knew somebody's up there. So I pushed it open, and I was like, Dad, because I needed to ask him a question. And he didn't reply. And I was like, okay, well, this asshole, I mean, he's normally an asshole, but damn, why trying to ignore me? So I looked, because literally the house was so tiny, like the upstairs. You could open the door and look at all the rooms. And I was like, oh, he's not up here. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. I just heard him come up the stairs. So I went downstairs, and he was sleeping in the recliner.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, huh. And I literally stood in front of him like, huh. so like I waited till like another sibling came home, and it's like, you know what happened today? And they're like, yeah, I don't want to hear anything about it. Because like everybody experienced so much at the house that we were like, don't tell us about it. So another thing started the house, and I might be butchering this. I don't want to tell a lie, so I'm going to leave it to my sisters to correct me. When we were older and we all moved out of the house, but my mom still lived there, we went back and we're hanging out one night, and we're getting ready to leave and standing like in the entryway, and somebody heard, I think it was my sister Gina. Somebody heard a little boy from upstairs say Gina's name. Like, Gina, Gina. I think it was Gina. I could be lying, though. It might have been one of my other sisters, but I think it was Gina. And I think my sister Gina and Sarah said that they looked at, because I wasn't there for this. They said they looked at each other and they're like, I don't know what that is.
You better go get him.
So my sister Gina's house now, totally, maybe she will not like that I'm telling this. Her house is haunted as fuck. You know, her house, I'm not kidding. Every time you're in it alone, like, I went there. So when me and my other sisters.
It's a fairly new house, right?
It is a new house, but I feel like there's a ghost following my sister Gina around. A little boy, to be specific.
Woo.
So this is like maybe 4 years ago. Me and my sister Gina are sitting in her living room, and then we heard something, and it said "Mom" from upstairs. Well, she has 2 little kids, but they were like dead asleep at this time, and I was like, and she went and check on them. They're both sleeping.
Wow.
And then there were times where like my sister and her husband went out of town, and like me and my other sisters like watching the girls, and we'd be sitting there, and then you could definitively hear a little boy say "Mom." And my sister does not have little boys. And it happens to this day. Like, just literally like 3 weeks ago, I was watching my niece, and it was just me and my niece in the house, and there was such a definitive sound of like a kid walking upstairs. I looked at my niece and I was like, "Aylin, did you hear that?" And she's like, "I didn't hear anything." I'm like, "Of course you didn't." It's like, now I just look like the crazy auntie.
Yeah, but like if kids don't see it,
it's so much that it's like literally if you're in her house watching her kids, like you just hear it sounds like footsteps all across the.
Oh my god.
Shit like that you're just like, but why? What's the answer? Or like, what is the? So things like that have always happened to me my whole life. I feel like either me and my family just carry around ghosts with us, or
they're just hanging out on your back.
Probably. They're probably just like trying to ruin our fun.
Ooh, what is that movie where they're hanging out on?
Oh, don't tell me.
Sorry, but there's like a movie where they're like the ghosts are like trying to climb on. Is it The Grudge? I can't remember. Anyways, I can't remember.
But I just truly believe. I feel like so most people you meet have some type of experience where they've had some type of paranormal experience, or even a minor form of it, and I feel like it's real. I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, honestly, the closest thing I've ever had to paranormal feelings is when I bartended at the Village. So,
what happened there?
Well. The Village,
which they have really good Bloody Mirrors there, by the way.
Yes, the best. Whoop whoop. Yeah, Shannon, Tisha, woo, give you a shout.
Oh, I really love Shannon.
I know, I fucking love her. But anyway, the Village is a bar in Ralston, which is like a little suburb of Omaha. I had never been there when I got the job there. I applied at a different bar in South Omaha. Always been more of a South Omaha girl. So this owner was like, "Hey, do you want to come work at my bar in Ralston?" Long story short, I work a Sunday shift. I was like just going to work the 2 to 5 or 2 to 7 shift. So I open, do the happy hour, Husker games, stuff like that. And it's on the corner in this little downtown suburb of Raleigh.
Like a main street.
Yeah,
where you're literally going to have like a 2-block radius.
Yeah, so it's like literally just like a couple little downtown buildings. And I go in and I meet the owner, and he's like, "Yeah, you can just go down to the basement," because it's like this tiny little, you walk in and it's probably less than 1,000 square feet in there. It's tiny. So I go in and he hands me the ice buckets. He's like, "Go downstairs and get the ice." Well, cool. I'm not, I open up this like cellar door, basement door, which, it's creepy. It's fucking creepy.
I've seen it.
It's
creepy.
But like, I'm also like, whatever. I've been in basements. It's fine. And I go down there, and there's just like this cooler in the middle, and you see the ice machine to the left, and I'm like, all right. And like off in the distance, I'm hearing like something rattling, and it's just like it's like a creepy basement.
It is.
And I'm just like, ugh. Like I felt like the hair on my arm stood up when I went down there. Like,
I think that
it just
says a
felt
lot.
weird.
It says a lot.
But I was like, whatever, it's a basement. So I scoop the ice, and I don't think anything of it, and I go upstairs, and he helps me open because he did every weekend. He'd come in and open. He's an amazing boss. But I'm not just saying that because he's listening. But anyway, he
He's
really,
probably not
he
even
really
listening.
fucking is, though. He really is.
I know
an
you
amazing
always
boss.
said nice things
But
about him.
he leaves, and they have lots of like bar lights in there, and it's just he made sure everything.
If you are in the Omaha area, check it out because it's such
fucking
a cool
great.
spot.
The Village
it is
Bar.
Such a cool spot.
It's actually where we took our Facebook picture.
Oh my
for
god, I
our-
totally forgot
yeah.
about that. But it's like such a cool spot. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't like a regular until you worked there, and I love that place.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a little far from where we live, unfortunately, but
it's worth it.
It's a great place. But I go upstairs, I work my shift, I'm hanging out with regulars, whatever. And after my shift, I was making my way back across town, and I stopped at the Poop Deck, which is another little bar on my way home. Don't judge me. That's my home away from home for a while. They have some very strong drinks. But anyways, so I'm in the bathroom, and I'm talking to a girl who is in the stall. And I'm like, yeah, I just started working at the Village. And this girl, like, I don't even know if she wiped. She fucking got up and opened the door, and she goes, you know that place is haunted as shit, right? That used to be a morgue. And all the hair on my arm stood up, and I was like, ah! And yeah, so
It wasn't on the application.
I know. So I messaged Brock this week because I wanted to tell him that I was going to talk about the Village a little bit, and I wanted to make sure I had some information straight. So if you look at the pictures that we'll post to our Facebook page,
Kim showed me the pictures.
they're old as fuck. Mm-hmm. So the building was built in 1911, one shy of Villisca, the Villisca Axe Murders. So it's been around a hot minute, and it was a steakhouse at one point.
Which is weird that went from that to a mortuary.
Well, and then like, I mean, it's a huge building, guys. It withstood a tornado. So I was asking the owner, I'm like, so give me the skinny on like what has went down in there. Cause like I noticed the front door opened a few times, like the regulars, and I would just be sitting there and the door would just go. And so like I would just be like, Dave, calm down, because there was rumors that, okay, so they did have like, I want to say like a paranormal investigator come in at one point. This was long before I worked there, but they claimed they got a recording and the man's name was David. So David. So it's always like David. Ew, David. Stop.
Do you think it's like Schitt's Creek? David.
It is. Yeah. So I was like, Brock, like what happens there? Because like I know there's a lot of people hanging out there, regulars all the time. Like I want to know what they've seen. Well, he said that like they've had a few people say that like the sinks in the men's bathroom will just turn on. Like they'll be in the bathroom and psh, and it's not like, it's old timey, guys. They don't have like automatic sinks in there. There's no,
right. You really
like, you have to fucking manually turn that shit on. So so that's one thing. I asked a bartender what she's experienced, and one of them said that she was just standing there one day and like a pitcher. So the pitchers are like above the bar, kind of like this, and like no one was in the vicinity, and a pitcher just like flew off the wall.
I'd be like, bye. Like, this is my resignation.
Yeah. So, things like that. I do know another girl who said, like they have like little bottle openers that hang up above the, like next to the liquor. And she was just hanging out talking to, because there's never that many people in there at once when you're working a day shift. And it seems like all the crazy shit happens, like, I mean, during that time. And a bottle opener just went flying. So, like, sometimes Dave just wants attention, I think. But
He's like, I said I need a drink, bitch.
but yeah, like there's like a couple rooms in the basement. Brock tried to get me to go in one. It was like one day when I was working a shift, he's like, you want to go down in there and see? And there's like just a lone chair just sitting, and it's like something out of a horror movie. I was like, you want me to go in there? I was like, is this what everybody has to do when they first start working?
Like, is this how I die?
Yeah, like go in the dirt room.
No,
but no, it's creepy, but it's also a very awesome bar, and it's a great community. So if you're ever in the area, check out the Village Bar in Ralston, if you dare. But in closing, happy Halloween, y'all.
Happy Halloween, COVID style.
Yeah, this is what. Yeah. Oh God, there's the laugh. There's the laugh.
No, that's literally just my normal laugh. It just sounds
But
crazy.
it is the laugh.
Yeah, but it just sounds crazy.
So I don't know. Send us your stories.
Don't forget.
Drunken debaucheries. Love after last calls.
Mm-hmm. True Crime Rhymes with Vodka at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Check us out Facebook, Instagram.
YouTube.
All the things.
Yeah.
Bye.
Cheers.